Hello guys, here's another homeschooling talk from me. For those that don't know, I've been homeschooling for over a decade. We have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and it's been crazy having to rewire my brain, having to rethink all of the processes. I went to school for education, my master's in education, and learning from the public school system and being in the public school system for several years through internships and through learning and all those things. And then now having my own kids and my own family and my own spouse, and we run businesses out of the home. And so all of the theories and the book smarts that I have, I've had to rethink through everything now that we have kids. And so something that I have wanted to mull over for a while is, what is my philosophy of education? And it's all kind of based on this guy named Gardner. And Gardner had 8 intelligences that was his main theory that he was known by. You've probably seen it in child psych and that kind of thing. And he believed in 8 different intelligences. We have music, we have spatial, we have language, kinesthetic, bodily, we have nature, and we have 2 of my favorite is intrapersonal, regulating your own emotions, and extra-personal, working with other people. 2 of the 8 slices having to do with your emotional wellness, your mental wellness, your physical health, your mental health, and how that all kind of rolls together to be a good human. And it just made me think of, in a public school environment, never once did I learn in college or in my master's degree any of how does that look like for raising emotionally healthy, mental healthy kids. And now that as a parent, and I'm seeing that I'm here with my kids every single day, creating a safe and a good foundation for their emotional mental health. Me and my husband have a good relationship, and so we're trying to form like a non-traumatic childhood experience. Okay, so we are hustling, we're trying to earn money for our family, we own businesses, but then we also are trying to talk through our emotions and talk through conflict and work through things and sit down with our kids every day and try to have meals together and read to them and do all the things that good parents should do. But something I've had to really push past is probably these emotional self-regulating talks I've had every day. 90% of my day is how would you feel if you did this? How would you feel if we did this? Maybe we should approach it differently. Maybe we should say it like this. Maybe this is a different way to have conflict. Maybe this is a healthier way to control our emotions. And 90% of my day is just guidance counselor. And I'm thinking through how I never ever, in all the years of teaching and being in a camp environment, being a director of a children's camp, thought through how much of my day would be about talking about emotional wellness and mental wellness, and how important it is now to me and to my family, and how we need to overemphasize this. And so a part of me and a part of my brain is always well, maybe we're not checking all the academic boxes because, they need to be here on reading. They need to be here on their math. They need to be here on their this and this and this. But yet, if they are not wanting to learn all those things, but they're having some emotional stress here and through their mental wellness, and maybe something is bothering them, and we just take the whole day to have one-on-one time. We go out in nature. We talk about life. We're doing something creative, we're exercising, spending time together. Then the next day we come back to all the academic stuff, and I notice that they are just checking boxes left and right. And I think, to me, as a teacher, going to school for this, getting my master's, I was taught we need to emphasize the academics. And there's little to no talk at all about mental wellness and mental health for children. And so there's a guidance counselor in the school, but that's their job. And we just need to delegate it to them. And there's one guidance counselor for 1,000 kids in a school. And maybe they might see them. And if they're in a traumatic environment, they'll have their own way to do therapy and talk through things and talk through emotions and self-regulate, but that's not our job. We have to get through these academic boxes. And that's something that I've had to rewire my entire brain about. This comes first. if we're not feeling it today, if we're having a rough day, if we wake up grumpy, what happened? Let's talk about it. Let's spend some one-on-one time. Let's go take a walk. Let's change it up. Let's do something creative. Let's figure out how we can get to the source of the problem, because this will come later. This will come, the academic portion will come if the mental health and the wellness, and they feel safe and they're having fun and they're discovering and everything is soaking up like sponges to them, the academics will come. And I just think about in life, how many adults, they were taught these, how to find Pythagorean theorem and how to do this and how to do the scientific method. Okay, but if they don't know how to self-regulate, if they don't know how to seek help, if they don't know some healthy ways of transitioning from anger and from dealing with anger and dealing with emotions and what that means, then we're not teaching our kids for life, okay? We're not teaching them to be future parents. We're not teaching them to be future spouses, to work in a conflict environment, having people up in your face. What should you do? What are some healthy ways to handle conflict? What are some healthy ways to talk about things that we're not going to bury it? We're not going to explode, but we can talk about it in a way that's, hey, you hurt me. This is what happened, you know, or just, I'm sorry, I totally didn't mean to come across that way. And so they're seeing me and my husband model these things. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. But we always talk about it afterward and be like, well, maybe we should have done better. And it's the growth of us, me personally, and then having to deal with 3 kids that are just like, they're learning, they're growing, they're gonna make mistakes, and they're gonna fail, they're gonna fall. But my job as a parent isn't to prevent that. My job as a parent is to give them a safety net to fall in a very safe way, and that we can talk about, like, what could have we done better? Maybe this is something that we can talk. And so I'm more of a coaching role than a safety officer role. I'm more of a coach. Like, hey, maybe we should do this better. Can you let me coach you about this? Like, this is what I see. And so that has been like, to me, to have that brain shift recently. And especially how my 12-year-old is getting into that preteen, like wanting to push the buttons, wanting to push the envelope, and how I've had to be like, not hurt by phrases that she has said to me, like, Dad is a better listener and blah, blah, blah. And a part of me is like, whoa, like, I want to take offense to this. But then I'm like, just let her talk it out. Just let her, and I'm just going to love you. I'm here for you. I'm going to hug you. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But I am coming at her in a soft, gentle way, which is like a lot of self-control sometimes. And just like, I'm not going to take personal offense to things. Her emotions, it's just everything's firing on all cylinders, starting her period. It's just everything's going crazy emotionally, mentally. So I just need to be the strong one and be like, look, I'm here for you. I love you. Let me give you a hug. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. Instead of being offended and being hurt and all this. And so this is just something that I wanted to get out there that I've been thinking through a lot. My philosophy of education is based on, if our mental health and wellness, interpersonal skills and extrapersonal skills we're working on it, then all of the extracurricular stuff will come. And that has just been to me. And hopefully, as I journal this process, I'm going to write a book about, all of the things that I'm finding. But this is just part of the process of growth, mental growth, of thinking through what I need to do, thinking through what's it like to raise kids, but then also homeschool them, and also be the teacher, the mentor, the coach, the counselor, and the mom, all in one role. And man, that's been eye-opening. And thank you guys for talking and interacting. Love answering questions. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Peace out.